waiting for it. So go ahead, Steve.
It's I'm kind of ticked off because every time that I watch a documentary that you recommend, I end up crying. You know, the Dio doc, and then I just watched that the Wolfgang documentary, and I'm crying like a little girl. Like I'm starting to feel like I need to start wearing pastel colors.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that, man. Some of this stuff can get emotional for people. I'm guilty of that from time to time myself, but it sounds like you enjoy both of those things.
Oh, I did. You've turned me on to a couple bands here and there and different things, and I enjoy watching docs like you do, like you talk about. So, I always appreciate it. But after I got done watching that Wolfgang one, I was like, dang it, he's making me cry. This is not cool.
I met the guy this weekend. I met the guy yesterday who did the Wolfgang Behind the Music. I met him. He was at the Dio event. He came over and introduced himself to me. I forget his name. And he was telling me, I guess he's from New Jersey or has history in New Jersey. We know some mutual people. And he came over and introduced himself, and he thanked me because he heard me talking up the Behind the Music. He was actually a listener, and he appreciated that I said nice things about it, and I just say what I feel. But it was cool that he heard it, and he came up and introduced himself to me, and he actually told me he's been working on Behind the Musics for years, like even back in the day, the old ones. And that's what he was. That's what he ended up doing the Wolf one. But I met the guy.
That's awesome. Yeah, it was very well done. So that's cool. It's cool that you got to meet him.
Yeah.
Thanks for all you do, Ed. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Steve. It could have been a lot worse, but I thought something really bad was coming. I'm sorry, I forget the guy's name, but he came up to me and he said hello, and he was telling me, we talked for a minute, because again, it was crazy there yesterday at the Dio thing. I mean, there's so many people coming up and talking to me and handing me music, and it was just a lot. It's all good, but it's just a lot, it just becomes a blur after a while. But this, the guy was telling me that he did a bunch of old Behind the Musics, and then he was telling me that they're doing these new ones. And there's a few that are totally new, like Wolfgang. And then there's some that are just re-edited with some new content, like old stuff mixed with new stuff they kind of update them. I think he said Duran Duran was like that. And then there's the Milli Vanilli one, which was like the very first one they ever did. And that's, I think, just the original one put back up on Paramount Plus. So there's a bunch of them up there, and they're all kind of different. I was telling him it's hard to differentiate, because I don't need to see the old ones again. I want to see anything new, and it's hard to differentiate between what's totally new and what is a re-edit of an old one. Obviously, Wolfgang wasn't around when the original Behind the Musics happened, so clearly that was going to be a brand new episode, which is why I watched it. And, he was telling me the same thing, which we've talked about many times. It's great that there's all this content out there. It's great that there's all these ways to get this content, but also it's tough because not everybody can find this stuff. Not everybody has every streaming platform. Not everybody knows that it even exists. That's why many times I talk about documentaries and stuff on this show that I come across and I give you the information because just like trying to find music now, you got so many ways people can put out video, whether it's as simple as YouTube, which anybody can upload anything, or whether it's obviously the bigger platforms that exposing it, letting people know it exists, that it's out there, is really the biggest challenge. And he was saying that it's hard, and he was really glad that I talked about it because I guess not a lot of people knew that it was out there. And I told Wolf's publicist, who's a friend, I told him, I said, if Wolf wants to come on and promote it and talk about it, because I just don't think many people know about it for the reasons I just said. Here's Mark in St. Augustine, Florida.